I've definitely said this before at the start of one of these episodes, but I guess it's been true a few times. I'm having a bad day today, so let's play some FF7 and, make everything better. It's time to head to Midgar. Uh, I think I am missing the Wutai side quest, but I hate having my materia scrambled, so I am happy to just continue with the game. When Yuffie steals your materia, as I think I said last time, she does not put it back where it came from, and it always annoys me. We've reached Midgar. Even if we get there, Midgar is under martial law. Incidentally, if we went and got a key from excavating up in that north town where we excavated the Lunar Heart, we could go in Midgar through the main gate, and we'd be able to go to the slums, and there's a couple things you can get there, but they're not very relevant to what we're doing. Even if we get there, Midgar's under martial law. There'll be no way we could slip into the slums. Except we could slip into the slums, but more importantly, looks like all transportation from the slums is cut off. Hey, what do you think we have the high wind for? Where are we now? Huh? Where are we? If land's no go, we'll go by air. Good idea, Sid. Okay then, we'll parachute into Midgar. I always like in stories where Vincent really posing there, where there's like a major location and it hasn't been used for kind of previous set pieces. When towards the end of something it goes, oh shoot, we got to go there and have a major set piece there. And usually it was planned the whole way. But Midgar, we had a huge opening to the game, and I think returning there towards the end, Vincent runs pretty funny. Not as funny as Sid, but pretty funny. Change your party members? No. We have the dream team already established. Anyone in Tifa? But yeah, I like returning to major locations. Some stories really have to, good cutscene here, have to tie themselves in knots to do so, and it doesn't actually make sense. And like the dramatic final encounter, at the tree where you once carved your name as friends as a child, is like not actually a place that makes any sense for the final encounter to be. But returning to Midgar here, of course, does make a ton of sense, as it has been the base of some of our enemies for virtually the entire game. Returning to Midgar is not out of place at all. And as always, I think it's very amusing to cut between in-game graphics and story graphics. Heidegger is going after you all. That's why it's dangerous out there. Let's go underground. I will probably actually make one party member switch during this segment, because we'll get a little more story if so. Um, but I think we'll do so later. Let's talk to people, see what they have to say. Maybe it's just switch party members. This place smells gross. Let's get this over with. So it was Hojo who stirred up all this commotion after all these years. Yeah, let's get it over with. Sounds strange coming from me, but it feels like home being back in Midgar. Kind of makes me sick. Barrett's so off. There was a line. I don't think it's from some like famous author. It's from a reviewer I liked, who had some line about like the simplest way or the easiest way for a story to make a character feel complex is for them to have something they want and they get that thing and do not have the reaction they expected. And you can kind of you can generalize that to kind of someone expects to feel something or has been preparing to feel something or just like clearly really wants something and they get it and it doesn't feel like how they thought it would feel. It doesn't feel like the image they had. And I think, phrasing it as this is the easiest way to make a character feel complex is sort of missing that this is kind of how people are complex. Not the only way we're complex, but one way in which we're complex. But I want to note that almost every line like that in the game that hasn't been given to either Cloud or for a very specific part of the game, Tifa, as she worked through Cloud's memories, all the other lines like that about if I didn't feel how I expected to feel, Imagine if we lived here, I think I'd have different feelings. Everything where his feelings don't quite align with where he expects them to be, it all comes from Barrett. And that is why Barrett is just, I think, very obviously the second or third most interesting and complex character in the game. And I think they give him quite a lot of these lines, and they also fit his story well. So they're nicely chosen and nicely used lines. And screw you, Eris fans. Barrett is obviously the third best character in the game. He is great. This is where we go in. Please hurry and come to the Mako cannon. All right, off we go. Saving is for chumps. That's not true at all, but you know. All right, this is one of those maps where like it looks like that part to the right is fenced off. I'm not sure it actually is. See, we can just run through there. It kind of looks like it's fenced. Also, we can run down here. And these are some of those maps, kind of like the Temple of the Ancients, that because of the sheer size of the map, can I move? Am I stuck? It's easy. This was not the direction I wanted to go first. Easy to not be sure which directions you want to head in first. And I think I will go the other way first. A few important items to catch while we're down here, but nothing too incredible. All right, let's do the limit and a death blow. Possibly I should give Tifa 2x cut and added cut. I think you can combine those. But oh wait, what? Did I select Cloud? Oh, she's okay. We gotta unconfuse her because she is gonna very quickly kill us. And yeah, Tifa's scary, man. We don't want Tifa against us. All right, hardest encounter in the game. They turn Tifa against us. How can we beat that? She hits for 3,000. Right, let's heal up a bit. And we always want to heal on Nanaki, because Nanaki gets MP back via Bloodfang. So Nanaki, or Piggyman, or Red 13, whatever we want to call him, is always our preferred choice for how healing works now. And for just MP use, because every time he uses Bloodfang, he gets like 300 MP back. Alright, another new enemy we haven't fought before, so let's see if it can hold off, you know, a Tifa death blow. Shouldn't hit Tifa twice, because you're going to get countered, but I guess it didn't. And it got missed by the death blow. So Tifa only did 6,500 damage. She would have killed it if she had hit her death blow, even if she hadn't crit the normal one. That's a shame. I hate when things survive a hit from Tifa. It just doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem right. Incidentally, the really important items to get here are not in this early part. The incredibly important item, in my opinion, there's a case there are two, is W item. W item lets you use 2 items at once on a turn. Now, that doesn't seem so great. That's not that impressive, right? However, nothing to steal? That's a shame. Now, the other two have to... Oh, so the other two can lift up, the 2 greats behind, I believe, if I remember right. And that one can lower itself and be immune to damage. FF7 has so many weird little enemies with quirks to them. What I was going to say about W item is W item's very important because it gives us the W item glitch, which I, of course, am happy to abuse glitches. I have no morals about this or no compunction about this. But the W item glitch lets you duplicate items. And, you know, there are items that are in very limited supply. This is only use of items, you know, in battle uses, healing items. Now, that may, I'm just going to get rid of this. Now, having, as we know, her limit break is nowhere near like the damage of her normal attacks, right? So this is, you know, she can output, you know, 5,000 damage here, but 5,000 damage here is not impressive from Tifa. When she is counterattacking for 3,000 And if we had 2x cut, she would reliably do 6,000, and with death blow, she's sometimes doing 9,000. Now, the thing we can get with the W item glitch is we can get infinite use of mega elixirs. And that's obviously an incredibly powerful healing effect and makes the optional bosses much more comfortable because we have very reliable healing that no longer depends on cure materia or like having all ready to go with your cure materia. So having infinite mega elixirs is very nice. But it also gives us infinite other items. Most other items are, and oh no, most infinite other items are not as useful to us. I probably just went the wrong order of items, and maybe I'm gonna miss something because I'm lazy, but that's okay. Again, we don't need the items here except for mega elixir. Sorry, except for W item. It can also up hero drinks. We've gotten a few hero drinks. We've never used them. Hero drinks stack, I want to say up to 4 times, but it could be 3. I always get like this kind of game and Shin Megami Tensei is confused of like how many times do buffs stack. But I think you can stack up to 4 hero drinks, and each gives a kind of until you die 33%ish boost to a bunch of stats. And it can stack to just give you, really good both defense and offensive stats, so you much more reliably output damage and take much less damage, and that can keep some of the optional boss fights under a lot more control. So, I think in general, yeah, it's quite useful. So we can climb back up through the 42 tube and go grab some stuff I didn't grab. I don't think I'm too invested in the items here, right? Things like the weapons here, we just need tifa damage. What else are we, what else do we need? So I'm not going to be too fussed about other characters. I like the tifa, I don't know if this has been apparent, has the fastest speed in my party. So like there, she and Nanaki started at about the same. Sadly, we got no counterattacks there and missed the death blow. Terrible, terrible fights for Tifa. Cloud doing good damage. When he hits his crits, he can do as much as Tifa if she just hits her normal attack. That's something. Tifa doing 7,000 purely on counters though. So even then, Cloud not looking that amazing. But yeah, so W item glitch lets us use more hero drinks, which is going to be really useful for optional boss fights, and we will at least fight Emerald Weapon. I think Emerald Weapon, for me at least, is the more fun of the 2 fights, because you can kind of manage it at whatever level party you have, as long as you're abusing the W item glitch. So you can just play, and I like not having to do that much preparation. All right, so we're going to use the PHS here, and we're going to swap out Piggy Man for Vincent, because we will get a little more story this way. While we're here, we're going to give him the Long Barrel R. Not his best weapon, but relevant to something we're going to do later. And we'll give him the Zedric, because that's just powerful. It's the best defense in the game. For materia, I think we'll just leave it alone. He's just going to have nothing. And we haven't even seen his limit yet, Galleon Beast, so maybe we'll get that at some point here. His first limit break. His limit breaks are all transforms. Now, we have a ways more to go, so I probably shouldn't have switched to him yet. But maybe we'll get a chance to see some limit breaks. All right, now that we're here, we're going to go all the way south. Because I believe that's where the items are. And we're just going to check for as many items as we can find here. Probably shouldn't have switched to Vincent yet. Yeah, not quite relevant. Confusion's brutal. I guess we got to hit her with Cloud. Oh, I shouldn't have normal attacked. But also, she did 7,000, so we're okay. Oh, and I don't have Naki to heal with now. Yeah, I screwed up. We have to put mild effort into healing. Cloud's not getting that MP back for free, but he soon will, because we will have the W item glitch in effect. And yeah, that's just one of the game's very powerful effects. Because infinite mega elixirs solves a whole lot of problems. And as I said, hero drinks are useful for the bosses. It also lets you do things like Phoenix Down and Mega Elixir, right? So if a character goes down, you can set up that you're going to both revive and heal them past the revive. I think we just care about the thing in the back because it keeps confusing us. And now Tifa's going to hopefully not just wreck us. I should probably be running away from these enemies. When you run away, she looks so silly, right? When she's confused. Oh, well, Tifa's dead. Yeah, we're just going to run away from this one. We don't have any fun way to revive. Hardest enemy in the game. Can't be beat. And we moved Nanaki out of the party, so I actually have to use the Phoenix Down or rearrange our stuff. Yeah, terrible. But yeah, our main goal at this point is to go abuse W item. One of the best materia in the game. I think you could argue it's the very best, and everyone would disagree with you because they would choose offensive stuff. But offensive stuff is far more replaceable, right? If there is one offensive materia, Knights of the Round, the best summon in the game. It hits a bazillion times. It does more reliable output damage than anything. You can combo off with it and some other late game materia. And if you put anything else in its slot, you will lose a lot of damage output. On the other hand, it takes forever, and you still can get large damage output without Knights of the Round. It's the most, but you can cover stuff without it. If you set up the crazy combos that take forever to set up with it, then sure, right? It's going to be more powerful than anything else and by a large margin. However, if you're not going to take the time to set things up, I would say W item is more impactful, right? My go-to lazy Emerald and Ruby weapon, which are the game's ultimate super bosses strategies. The Emerald weapon strat relies on W item, and the Ruby weapon strat relies on having beaten Emerald weapon. And beating Emerald weapon, you can get it by doing Chocobo side quests. Of course, I am lazy, so we'll skip those. But you get the results. Oh, we're giving this to Tifa, of course. You get the results of doing those side quests by beating Emerald weapon. So it is much easier to just go beat Emerald weapon and get access to Knights of the Round, and then go beat Ruby weapon. Where for the strategy I like to use, you want to have Knights of the Round much quicker. And we will also actually be using Vincent for that fight. Every time. Every time. God, we're going to game over to these. What a horror show. I should put the life materia on Cloud, just so I'm not quite so beleaguered on Phoenix Downs. But I guess this is the downside of having Tifa be the most invincible, powerful character to ever live. Let's put life with all. Hopefully we are quite close to where the W item is, so I can start cheating Mega Elixirs and heal Cloud's MP, and also just have easier access to healing. But I think it's at the very bottom of these tunnels. But yeah, for my money, I think this is the game's. It's so weird to say in a world with Knights of the Round. So if you're not familiar with Knights of the Round, Knights of the Round hits I think 13 times for like higher damage on each hit than every other summon has, basically. So it is a very good chance to be doing, 7 to 10,000 damage per hit. The damage cap is 9,999. Somewhere around there. 7 to 10,000 damage 13 times, right? Hi, Red. I smell it. The cannon's not this way. Yeah, the W item is. And 7 times 13, or 8 times 13, or whatever, or 9 times, or 10 times 13, depending on if you do various grinding to up that. But it's going to be doing, 100 to 130,000 damage. And that is just an insane amount of damage. And because other things are capped at 9,999, the only thing that can really compete with that is going to be limit breaks. And limit breaks are both something you have less reliable access to because you can't just use it over and over, but also, and because they come with having taken a whole bunch of damage. We see W item. Yeah, I'm gonna switch Vincent back with Nanaki, and we'll make the switch later. What was I saying? See Tifa outspeeding Cloud there. Didn't get rewarded for it, sadly. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, limit breaks you can use with less frequency, and also because limit breaks aren't a materia, you can't combine it with other effects in the same way you can combine it with Knights of the Round. Right? Knights of the Round could be combined with something like HP or MP Absorb to get healing back. Knights of the Round can be combined with. So we have the counterattack materia. Later you can get the counter materia, where if you're hit by a spell type thing, you automatically react with the thing attached to it. And if that's Knight of the Round, you just get free uses of this 100,000 damage, which is this incredible amount of damage a turn. So you just get access to this absurd stuff, and it's hard to argue with Knights of the Round. However, I think it would be easier to do without Knights of the Round than I think it is to do without the W item glitch if you're trying to kind of be efficient running through the game, right? I think W item does more to speed up how fast you can like comfortably take out the super bosses than Knights of the Round does. Especially because, if you don't have W item, how are you getting Knights of the Round, right? I mean, you can beat the super bosses without it, but it's a much bigger pain. And if you don't have Knights of the Round, well, you have W item. You can still beat the super bosses. So we're gonna switch in red because I don't know why I switched him out, because I wanted Vincent for scenes that are not all that close to us. And I think we'll put W item on Cloud. And we'll give Nanaki Chocobo Lure. Which we're quite close to mastering. And I will drop a save here. Actually, before I drop a save, because I'll want, if we do happen to reload, I'll want to not have to redo this. I'm going to arrange our items. So specifically, we're going to put Mega Elixirs on top, because we can now duplicate them. Phoenix Downs. And we should have a hero drink. Apparently we don't. Oh, maybe we do. I just skipped past it because I was only looking at stuff I'm allowed to use at this point in time. So, okay. No. Spider webs are useful and relevant to super bosses. So we're going to bring those to the top, because we'll have to duplicate those, because they slow enemies and they are the most reliable slow on the super bosses. Dazers can paralyze a super boss. So that one's relevant, and there's hero drinks. I think vaccines are also useful, because not only do because they actually protect you in a longer term way. I'm going to move Hero Drink up to 3, and I think these are the 6 items we might want access to in combat with the parts of the game that are going to be difficult. And now we're going to see if I can remember how to duplicate weapons, or items. I think it's pretty easy. We have to get into battle, and then we have to get to Cloud's turn, and hopefully not against one of those confusers, because they will kill me by turning Tifa against me. And Tifa, as we have established, is very powerful. But yeah, this is mostly a. Today we're getting W item. W item is great. Everyone's gonna be like, nah, Knights of the Round so much better. You're wrong. You're wrong. And you spend so many hours on Chocobo races I won't have to do. Oh god, we have to kill that. No! No! Every time. It's so fast. At least that. God damn. Hardest fight in the game. Alright, guys, I'm gonna switch the life materia back to Nanaki. Oh man. Arrange, exchange. Nope, not that. Revive. And, I don't know. Give you back your Chocobo lure. Actually, we should probably have all connected to something, right? That seems weird to have unconnected. But whatever. It's not really our game plan anymore. We have more powerful things at hand now. Um, I've never. Have at times liked doing challenge runs. Most of my favorite challenge runs in FFs are just FF Tactics and variations on it. Not saying FF Tactics with no challenge is the challenge run. Saying variations on FF Tactics are my preferred challenge run, and I tend not really to do anything else. You can see he has W item. That means if we select Mega Elixir and then select something else and cancel it, it adds a Mega Elixir to our inventory. And we can just select it and cancel out for eternity. And just get however many we want. Now I'm going to do a similar thing for Phoenix Downs. Just to get up to a reasonable number. These are easier to purchase. Now, hero drinks are more important. And got to make sure the fight doesn't finish while I'm doing this, because then I might lose my hero drink. Not quite sure how that works. We do want a whole bunch of hero drinks. These are going to be really relevant to being efficient. And we like efficiency. Anyway, what I was going to say was the only challenge run I have ever done on FF7 is the solo Tifa challenge I did. Alright, and let's get a few more spider webs, and then a few vaccines. And now we're all set to go. Mega Elixirs are now our go-to heal, right? Every character has access to items. We don't have to put on materia for it, and it is a full heal to HP and MP, right? So we can also now be much freer just launching all our most powerful things every turn. Yes, this is abusive of stuff. I could probably space out Ether and Turbo Ether, I guess. Ether, I said Ether as a kid, it's hard for me to stop. Ether and Turbo Ether use and cast a lot more spells than I've been casting throughout the game. I very rarely get low on MP because I am stingy, but at this point we can stop being stingy and just start launching whatever we feel like. So we're gonna have more fun just launching powerful stuff every turn because W item's the best. So Tifa will still be using Death Blow, but we may do more kind of enemy skill stuff with Cloud, like Aqualung or Trine or Magic Breath. With Nanaki, maybe we'll summon Hades a lot more. I don't know. The animation on that takes a while. So I'm kind of still probably in just have Tifa destroy everything with Death Blow mode. Please get the attack off before it does. Please kill this stupid thing. I'm going to start running away in case we don't get the turn first. Ah, we got the turn first. Okay, life is good. In exchange for getting W item, we did have to face this enemy, the hardest enemy in the game, many times. This is probably something that if we put Hades in added effect on Tifa's materia, she would avoid getting hit by Confuse, or of course putting a ribbon there. But both would stop our Cursed Ring combo from working. And I love our Cursed Ring combo, so we will not be doing this. The other really interesting item in Midgar for us is actually Tifa has a second item in the game that powers. Okay. Oh no, they're here. That powers up when we are under status effects. Again, I wish there was more of this stuff in the game because I think it's really neat to have a character that you can build in this kind of way, where her loadout and what we're trying to do with her is just quite different from other characters. There's no other character we're putting the cursed ring on, right? But she can get such an extra boost out of it that it's important. Now, I think this second weapon is called the Master Fist. I think it also pumps up if we put tranquilizers on her. I think it counts that as a malady, while her current one does not count that as a malady. And I think we can get higher damage out of the Master Fist, but I don't actually remember. What are we going to do? I think it's okay for you to ignore your orders now. Hmm? All right. Reno's here. Elena, don't act so weak. We're Turks, Elena. Yes, sir, you're right. Now, this scene, I think, changes a little, partially depending on if we've done Wutai. If we have ran into these characters in other places and gotten a little closer to them, you do have the option to not have this fight, right? Because they start to say, what is the point of what we're doing? And I like that in secondary villains, right? It gives them some measure of redemption, and they're not the absolutely irredeemable characters that stories should not give redemption to, right? There's sort of levels of villainy where here's the one where you can be like, yeah, I understand your arc, and here's the one of like giving any sort of redemption here is kind of the game lying about how bad what they've done is. I'm looking at you, end of Xenogears. Come on, we've got work to do. Not really up for it, but our orders were to seek you out and kill. Our company may be in turmoil, but an order's an order. Alright. We're going to try to steal from all of these before Tifa kills them. That's the will and spirit of the Turks. Believe it. Will we succeed? Probably not. Tifa is too strong. Try this one on for size. Alright, so we're going to start with Elena. That is not very impressive. We're going to use Big Guard. God damn, Tifa's just going to kill Elena this turn. Maybe she didn't. I mean, I could stop attacking with Tifa, but it's pretty funny how good she is, right? And I like the idea of her killing the enemies before I can steal. Now, an upside to using Big Guard now is because we have access to these Mega Elixirs, um, we don't actually, like, normally Big Guard weakens how much we heal, right? Because, do we get it? Nope. Because Big Guard lowers all magic effects received, including healing. But because Mega Elixir, as you can see, is just an auto full heal, I just threw away Phoenix Down because needed to use the other item slot. We don't actually... it's damage to all three of them. Yeah, Tifa did too much damage. We didn't steal anything. That's a shame. But, you know, what you gonna do? Tifa's too strong. They did make it to the end of Tifa's timer. Now, she didn't actually get past 0, right? It didn't go into the you die animation. But this was the first boss, I believe, to count Tifa all the way down to 0. So shout out to the Turks. Well done. That is our final encounter as a boss fight with the Turks. I hate these enemies. Hate them so. Can't escape? Just can't? Maybe we're gonna lose. Yeah, Tifa might just kill us. This could genuinely be a game over. I probably should have done something else there, but I thought we could probably kill it. But the back attack meant we were doing half damage, because both Cloud and Nanaki are in the front row. Normally, one attack from each would be able to take that out, but not here. And... yeah. So we're going to mash tier 2s now, because we can always just heal MP with the Mega Elixirs. But funny how those enemies are legitimately more dangerous to me than, like, any of the bosses the game wants to throw right now. No enemy has still survived a full 60 seconds of tifa. I think that is true. She did die once because the 60 seconds ran out, but I don't think that was on a boss. I'm now forgetting when that was. That might have been in the Sunken Gelnica. Left or right? I think we should start. I think we start going right. But I'm not sure. Don't really remember the pathing here. Which way? God damn piece of shit cannon. Or piece of something cannon. Let's go left this time. Oh, what else is there to say today? W item's great. Barret is great. I like the Turks. I think they're, yeah, this is the way we wanted to go. Because the Midgar building is where we can get Tifa's Master Fist, which might up her damage, but might not. Do we have tranquilizers? I think we probably do. Do we? Got hypers. Do I not have tranquilizers? There we go. Alright, so I'm going to bring that to the top so I can dupe it. Oops, lost our place. That's okay. Or was it? Tranquilizer. We're going to put that here, I guess. And we're going to dupe that the next fight we get into so that we can throw tranks onto Tifa. Now, a couple things we can do here. If we run up the stairs, we went straight in the previous time, but if we go left and you run up the stairs, the way of sneaking in. No, the Sister Ray's not this way. Yeah, but we're going this way. You get some weapon for someone. I want to say Sid, maybe one of Sid's best weapons. Either way, not super relevant for us. In the meantime, what is relevant for us is we're going to dupe some tranquilizers. Alright. And they're still have their backs turned to us. I think these might just be like the beginning of the game enemies. Right? I think they might not have changed the Midgar building at all. Now, also in the Shinra building, yeah, it is the beginning of the game enemies. I think we have the, I think Kate Sith's ultimate weapon is in a locker that we opened earlier in the game, but you weren't allowed to take the item from at that point. It was like, what's this for? And it was some M phone, right? But we don't need that. We don't use Kate Sith. Or as I believe it's supposed to be pronounced, like Kate Shi is closer to the actual English pronunciation. But this was also something we couldn't open, these two chests, and I believe one of them, yes, has the Master Fist. And the Pile Bunker, which I think is a weapon for Barret. Let's try out the Power Fist, the Master Fist. So it says powers up when condition changes. This powers up when near death. So this includes things like being in critical health, or powers it up a lot, but so does Death Sentence, the thing we're doing. This is affected by more things, though I think each kind of affects it less. So what we're going to do is we know she does this kind of 7,000-ish on a crit, 3,500 on a non-crit. So now we're going to see if we do more with the Master Fist, if we combine, it has a little more attack on its own, and we have Death Sentence on still, and we have Sadness. I don't actually remember if this is an improvement or not, but this is the other way we have a way to set up, Tifa's cool combos. But you get the Power Soul earlier, and I'm actually not sure this does more. My memory of the last time I played is I put this on and was like, wait up, this isn't doing more damage, and just went back to the Power Soul. But that could be wrong. I could be remembering wrong. I very often do. Yeah, so I think actually the next sequence to get like the ultimate items for people, you have to have Barret in your party for one of the bosses or right after the boss to get his ultimate weapon. But we're not using Barret, so I'm not going to bother about, again, as I've said a million times, if there's one thing true to this playthrough, it's that I do not pick up everything. Okay, that was a crit. Oh, she's doing more. Yeah. Okay. So I think she does somewhat less if you just have death sentence on her. I think it comes out a bit less. And that was what disappointed me. Because instead of like some kind of times 4 multiplier for death sentence, the Master Fist I think only has a times 3 multiplier, or times 2, something smaller. So it had a little more power, but ended up outputting less. But if you combine it with sadness, I hate this enemy. I hate this enemy so much. If you combine it with sadness, then, oh god, goodbye Cloud. Why does she never block the rifle? Maybe the rifle's not a blockable move. But if you combine it with sadness, that also gives a multiplier. And this means the Master Fist is definitely better, because not only is it getting a higher total multiplier, I think multipliers here are additive, so it's not like times 3 and times 2, it's like times open parentheses 3 plus 2. So this is more like a times 5 multiplier with a better base stat per attack. But the other reason it's clearly better, even if it was doing the same damage, is even if the 60 seconds run out, she now gets the boost from being in sadness, right? So the Master Fist definitely an upgrade, and yeah, nice to. Ooh, I'm excited to see if this boss can outlast Tifa. I bet it does, but this will be a good test, which is Tifa will still do improved damage after Death Sentence has run out, because she now gets the boost from being in sadness as well. Huh? This can't be. This is our final showdown with. Wait for it. Kyahaha. Gyahaha. But I think this is our final encounter with Kyahaha. Actually, it's probably our final encounter with both. Here they come. Kyahaha. So they really showed up. But it is Scarlet's weapon. So I think I was right to say Kyahaha. They both laugh. You sure did treat us like dogs up to now. I have to say, I think FF7 does a lot really well. I think it has this whole roster of villains. I find Heidegger and Scarlet incredibly forgettable. Killed off a lot of my precious soldiers. Like, I just, like, barely remember they exist when thinking about this game. If I'm thinking about Shinra, I just think, Rufus and his father. These characters don't exist to me. Or Hojo. Gahaha. But let's see how you do against anti-weapon artillery. Oh, this weapon would not be good against real weapons. You guys are worthless, but my proud creation is a sure thing. It also has the excellent name Proud Clod. It has quite good defenses and a lot of life, but incredibly incompetent attacking, I think. So it's going to be a good test to see. Now, not much destructive power. Good defense for the Proud Clod. Good name, by the way. I also like that it's a bit close to Cloud's name, but Clod is always top tier word to use. Yeah. So that said, can it hold off Tifa? And for how long? I think it will survive Tifa. And its attack's all slow. Alright, so you can see pretty good defense there. She's not doing too much damage. Anything fun to do with Nanaki here? Did I just attack normally? What an idiot. What an idiot. Yeah, so it's taking down the count timer, right? It attacks a lot and attacks slowly and not for much damage. Like 93 damage. But 93 damage is enough to really slow us down. And as I said, I attacked normally. So Tifa's only going to get like 15,000 damage in, 25,000 damage. Yeah, what a disaster. Alright, so I think she did like, she got in 2 or 3 death blow turns. I mean, she did okay. Try magic breath. And now also to see how much damage does she do once it runs out. But congrats to Proud Clod, the first enemy to survive Tifa. Or the first boss, I believe. Yeah, so she's still doing 5,500 when she hits her death blow. which if we compare to Cloud is like a bit more damage than him, but you know, significantly more, but she has to hit her death blow to do it. So it's not anything wild, right? He's doing 2100. She has to hit her death blow to do 5500. If she misses, she's actually doing slightly less than him. We still destroyed the boss, you know, it never got off its intended powerful move at the end. But congrats to Proud Clod. Good delay tactics from him. Because I think if she had, say, 2 more turns there, which she easily could have gotten against an enemy that didn't block up the timer so much. Not that. This is the Proud Clod. And I think this explodes and is clearly intended to take out both of them. Whoa! Yeah. So there go 2 more villains. Rufus is down. The Turks are done. Not dead, but done. Scarlet and Heidegger are gone. All we have left is Hojo. That's pretty good. And Sephiroth Genova. And we are off to stop Hojo. I think at the save point up here, yeah. Let's grab this first. You want to switch to Barret. Ooh, missiles, I believe, are the best armor in the game. Yeah. Overall, I think that's the best loadout you're going to get. We'll give it to Tifa because Tifa is the best. There's nothing that really just ups her stats, though, and all we really want on Tifa is better stats. We can give her some vitality, sure. So yeah, you want to switch in Barret here if you are trying to get everything. And we're going to switch to Vincent here just to get a little extra scenes, because we're about to run into Hojo, and Hojo and Barret have some backstory. So let's play it the way that makes the best viewing experience here, even if I'm not going to bother to put in Vincent's loadout, because why would we need Vincent when we have Tifa? Time to go up the ladder. You'll also notice this is a place we were at the very start of the game. We ran through this that was a little different, or ran through a place that looked just like this. This way, Cloud, but I think it is supposed to be the same place, right? It's just different because there is now a place to go up to get to where the canon-related stuff is. It's not different because, you know, it always looked like this, and we just didn't notice the paths up. So here is, I think, where Barret's final weapon would be if we had Barret in the party. But it might be the next part. I'm not sure. I never remember things. Oops, Deathblow moves spots. That's annoying. You shouldn't attack people like that, buddy. You shouldn't either. So another thing that makes this setup nice, and I know this is all from a while ago, but if we have Sadness on, right, so Tifa is taking half damage, counterattacking tons of things for huge damage, and just still hard to kill. I'm not used to throw being there. I'm going to take throw off. I like to death blow being the down button. Not worth it to me. And we'll heal. Obviously, I could heal with Mega Elixirs, but I cheat. Oh, maybe the missing score is on one of these platforms. I think that's right. Barret's final weapon. All right. I feel like I had so much about this game to say about this game when we were doing the story parts, and then after it's been such a kind of quick story, a lot of gameplay, not too much to say. We're really just wrapping up the game, and that tends to be more a gameplay challenge thing than like, you know, the game ramps up what it throws at you, throws different kinds of things, more than the big story is happening here, right? You get some final culminations, but I find those harder to talk about. Hojo, stop right there. Oh, the failure. At least remember my name. It's Cloud. Every time I see you, it pains me that I had so little scientific sense. I evaluated you as a failed project, but you are the only one that succeeded as a Sephiroth clone. I'm even beginning to hate myself. None of that matters. Just stop this nonsense. Nonsense? Oh, this. Ha ha ha. Sephiroth seems to be counting on the energy, so I'm going to lend him a hand. Why? Why do that? Quit asking me why, you moron. Actually, you might be cut out to be a scientist. Why is indeed a very important question. Energy level is at 83%. It's taking too long. My son is in need of power and help. That's the only reason. I would say, I wonder what the actual translation here is. I mean, it probably is son, but it's much more like creation than son, right? I think in general, people who are like I to their children, I created you, you should do what I want, or like just in general, pretty bad parents, ranging from bad to awful. But that's the kind of joy in Sephiroth that Hojo is taking here, right? It's not someone you took care of and you got to see the person they'd become. It's he created the most powerful world-changing thing he could imagine, and now it's changing the and tested it, right? And figured out a way to do so. And now that thing, Sephiroth, is changing the world, and he wants to make it able to as much as possible, right? And as he said earlier, he was hoping, he'd have preferred something more scientific than like meteor would be the way, but he would like to see this too. And so I think it feels to me more like my creation is in need of power and help rather than my son. Your son? Although he doesn't know. Yeah, and he would be pissed if he knew, because he has repeatedly been like, Hojo, what a shitty scientist compared to Gas. I guess this puts you up there a little bit, but still nowhere close to Gassed. Some evil laughs I will not do. What will Sephiroth think when he finds out I'm his father? Always looking down on me like that. More evil laughs. Sephiroth is your son? I think we've known this for a while, but also Vincent's now piecing it together. I offered the woman with my child to Professor Gast's Genova project. When Sephiroth was still in the womb, we took the cells of Genova. People laugh. You! I can't believe you're the one who did this. The illusionary crime against Sephiroth. He he he. No, you're wrong. It's my desire as a scientist. I was wrong. The one that should have slept was you, Hojo. I was defeated by my desire to become a scientist. I lost the last time as well. I've injected Genova's cells into my own body. Hee hee hee. Here are my results. And we get possibly the first multi-form boss of the game, which might mean that he can outlast Tifa. Because I think between forms, it does not reset the fight. So I think when he wastes time doing that, we're going to launch Midgar, because why not? That's valuable time for Tifa, right? Okay, Tifa's done 12,300. And he's going to take a capsule. Okay, he has allies, but we're just going to go for him. But Tifa might not get in that many attacks with this many enemies on. Alright, she's done about 20,000 damage. And it looks like he's switching forms, which is terrible for us, because it takes so much time off Tifa. Yeah, Tifa's going to be out. Oh, she got a counterattack. I wish I hadn't attacked with anyone else. Can she get it off before death sentence? No. Oh, dear. So Tifa's no longer super overpowered. Hojo, man. He's too smart. What a scientist. What would be something fun to do? Let's do Magic Breath. Vincent, you're useless, but I hope you get a limit break someday, because I'd like to show what it looks like. I don't think this boss is like has any particular weaknesses or anything specific to do. Might be a good time to vaccine because its poison can stick around, but I guess it may be unnecessary. I believe he has 3 forms, and I've never thought of him as a particularly tricky boss, but he is annoying for this exact Tifa build. And I also feel his kind of gross transformations fit Hojo. I think this is not a well chosen kind of stage and setup for our final fight with him. Though this one appeals to me a bit less. Not visually entirely sure what they were trying to symbolize with this one. That is not very impressive damage. Ooh, you see? Did you see it? Did you see it? She got counterattacks there. And the counterattacks upped in damage because her status changed. Right? She went from doing 2,000 to doing 3,000 because her status changed. Let's just use 2. Oh, I don't want to use a Mega Elixir here, actually. That was stupid. Because that will heal the poison. Ah, well, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. But that was silly. The poison was quite nice, actually. Because it did up her damage. So that definitely makes the Master Fist the better weapon, right? It's definitely preferable that all these other status effects can up her stuff as well. It ends up being the better weapon by like a kind of decent margin. And Hojo down. Now, I do think there are a number of characters that FF7 clearly kills off that the later games go, ah, yes, totally still alive. And because later games / movies. Because I do not consider those any good, I am not particularly bothered by this. In that I just go, well, no, they died, and you just pretended they didn't. But should be said, Hojo is a character that technically comes back, but I think that's right. I don't remember Dirge of Cerberus very well. Cerberus. Hojo, rest in peace. I can't believe Sephiroth is Hojo's son. I feel like I've been saying this for a while, so maybe I kind of spoiled that. Apologies if so. I thought, well, when we went and saw Vincent, that made it kind of clear. When we saw the cave with Lucretia in it, I mean. But I guess we're probably not supposed to have gone and seen that yet. Yeah, my computer's almost out of battery, so. And we should be done soon. Shinra's finished. So I guess next time we go on to the final disc. Meteor's gonna fall in about 7 more days. That's what grandfather said. So this is the very funny part where it's like, you have 7 days before the end of the world. Time to race chocobos and do side quests. Piggy Man, you want to see everyone in Cosmo Canyon again? Yes. Actually, let's just stop here. This is a better place to stop, I think, given my computer's battery state. So, yeah, this is the end of Disc 2, and the final disc is the final dungeon and side quests, of which we will be doing vanishingly few.